Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode's another doubleheader because we got all these fight cards coming up, one after another. So, this one is a post-fight for UFC Fight Night, Edgar vs. Mendes, and a pre-fight for UFC 194, McGregor vs. Aldo. Yeah, so I'll cover both in this episode, the main cards of course, and let's get started. The post-fight show for UFC Fight Night, Edgar vs. Mendes. In the featherweight division, in the main event we had Frankie the Answer Edgar versus Chad Money Mendes. Quick fight. It was a first round KO victory for Frankie the Answer Edgar. Yeah, Frankie's racked up a bunch of wins now at this point, and he's definitely earned another title shot. Chad Mendes, I was shocked, got knocked out that quick. I thought this fight was going to go the distance, be, 5-minute rounds. But yeah, midway into the first round, it was over. So there you have it. That's your main event in that card. And then in the co-main event, we had the Ultimate Fighter Season 22 finale between Arden Lobov versus Ryan Hall. And yeah, this one, I was completely stunned how good Ryan Hall's grappling skills were and how he's able to avoid the heavy shots of Artem. Wow. Yeah, I picked Artem in this fight, but like I said on my pre-fight show, I wanted Ryan to win, and I got my wish. Ryan used a lot of intense grappling, got the back constantly, and got his neck constantly, but wasn't able to choke him out, and won every round in dominant fashion by just ground and pound, and it was pretty much that case of position over submission, where he was really trying to make sure he had the dominant positions all the time, and he was. So good job, Ryan Hall. He is the lightweight winner. Well, the winner, that's the only weight class they had. So the winner of season 22 of the Ultimate Fighter. Then also in the lightweight division, we had Tony Ferguson versus Edson Barboza. I knew this would be like fight of the night, and it lived up to everything. Yeah, it was submission, Darce choke, and I believe that was, yeah, that was round 2. Yeah, that was round 2. Yeah, good job, Tony. A lot of heavy strikes were landed on both sides. Edson Barboza put up a fight, but it just wasn't enough. Tony Ferguson now on a 7-fight win streak. Go Tony. Get that belt, please. Big fan. Oh man, good job, Tony. So happy for you, bro. Check out my Facebook. I got a picture of them on there. And yeah, I say either give him a title shot or number one contender match. Then yeah, so he won submission, Darce choke, round 2. Then also in the lightweight division, we had Evan Dunham versus Joe Lauzon. Wow, impressive striking clinic from Evan Dunham. He avoided the ground at all costs with Joe Lauzon, smart move, and he just dominated him on the stand-up. And he won. It was 30-26 on 2 of the cards and 30-27 on one of them on the last one. So very dominant, won't argue with. Good decision win for Evan Dunham. I think Evan Dunham, yeah, I remember years ago there was a lot of hype with him, and then he just fell short. But I think now he's starting to find his groove, and he's, older, more mature fighter now. So I think he could definitely make a run for the belt. Yeah, then yeah, so he avoided the ground game of Joe Lauzon and pretty much teed off on him all 3 rounds in the stand-up. Yeah, then also on the main card, in the featherweight division, we had Tatsuya Kawajiri versus Jason Knight. Yeah, this one I knew would be just a dominant decision win for Kawajiri. And that pretty much sums up that fight, so I'll get to the next fight. Also in the lightweight division, we had Julian Rosa versus Marcin Vocek. Yeah, and yeah, this one was a tough, hard-fought fight, but a split decision win for Julian Rosa. Yeah, overall, just great fights on this main card. Yeah, now I'll get to the pre-fight show, the part you've all been waiting for, UFC 194. My predictions there. Some of my predictions you will be shocked by, I think. So the main event is featherweight champ Jose Aldo versus interim featherweight champ Conor McGregor to unify the belts. This fight, I got it first or second round knockout win for Conor McGregor. I think it's going to be a pretty dominant win. I think Aldo's going to get rocked pretty early on, and then Conor's just going to capitalize. Thus, quick finish for Conor McGregor. I think because Conor McGregor's footwork really makes him unpredictable, and his movements make him really unpredictable in the stand-up. And he has a ground game, but I don't think Jose Aldo wants a piece of that, and I don't think he wants to go to the ground. I think he wants to try to knock out Conor McGregor to teach him a lesson for all the stuff he said. And I think he's playing right into Conor McGregor's game, and Conor capitalizes. I say Conor wins the first round and then finishes him in the second. And if Jose Aldo decides to take it to the ground, it's just going to be a stalemate, because I think they're pretty even in terms of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skill set, that it'll just be kind of stagnant. And then it'll just go back to stand-up, and then Conor will continue to dominate on the stand-up and get the knockout. Okay, then, so there you have it. I'm picking, yeah, we'll say round 2 knockout win for Conor McGregor, and he'll have unified the featherweight belts. Then, in the co-main event, some of you may be shocked by this, but I'm picking Luke Rockhold. Why am I picking Luke Rockhold? Because Strikeforce middleweight champ, okay, that says something right there. Also, they both fought Machida. Chris Weidman had struggles with Machida. Luke Rockhold walked right through Machida. Easiest win of his career. Chris Weidman's a great fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters. He's a great fighter. He's one of the best middleweights in the world. But I think Luke Rockhold has just that it factor that will just, at least for this event, will get him the win. Now, if a rematch happens, I could see Chris Weidman winning a rematch, and a third one being a coin toss. I could see this being a trilogy where Luke Rockhold shocks the world and wins the first fight, and then maybe Weidman wins the rematch. So I'm picking Luke Rockhold to win. Yeah, I picked. Oh, you know what? On my backtrack, on my fantasy, I picked Conor McGregor by 3rd round knockout. Okay, so on this fight, I'm picking Luke Rockhold by 2nd round knockout. I think Chris Weidman barely survives the 1st round, and then the 2nd round, Luke Rockhold finishes him. But I think Chris Weidman puts up a fight. Yeah. Chris Weidman's best bet is finishing this fight in the 1st round. If Chris Weidman wins, it's gonna probably be in the 1st round, if I had to guess. Yeah, then also in the middleweight division, also in the main card, we have Jacare Souza versus Yoel Romero. This fight is the fight we've all been waiting for. It's been postponed multiple times. Yeah, I think Yoel Romero takes it to the ground, which ends up being a mistake, and Jacare Souza capitalizes and gets a submission in the second round. I think there's some good exchanges in the first round, but I think that the first round stand up, and Yoel's throwing bombs. Jacare is dodging those bombs that Yoel's throwing. Then round two, before round two, Souza's corner's like, okay, now that's nice, but take it to the ground now. Look for a takedown, and then he gets the takedowns, or he clinches with him, and then Yoel's like, okay, I'll take him down because of my, awesome wrestling skills. Takes him down. Then, as he's in Souza's guard, Souza works his submission. Yeah, then in the welterweight division, we have Damian Maia versus Gunnar Nelson. Yeah, this is one of those fights where I want Nelson to win real bad, but I think Damian Maia gets it done. And I think he gets it done by decision. I think this fight kind of ends up being stagnant on the ground, and then it ends up being a stand-up fight. And neither guy is known for their stand-up. Gunnar, I think, has stand-up skills. He just needs to believe in himself and let his hands go at times. Maia, he has some stand-up skills, I suppose, depending on how you look at it. And I think he throws just enough to win a decision here. And this fight ends up, on paper, looking exciting. And it's an interesting matchup because I want to see what's going to happen here. But if I had to pick a fight that probably won't, it's not going to be a bad fight, but probably won't win fight of the night, it's probably this fight. So I think Damian Maia wins the decision here just by doing a little bit more per round, throwing a little bit more strikes. So I got, 29-28 or 30-27 unanimous decision win for Damian Maia. Then, to kick off the main card in the featherweight division, we have Max Bless Holloway versus Jeremy Stephens, Little Heathen. And yeah, this one I picked Max Holloway round 2 knockout. I think there's some good exchanges the first round. Jeremy Stephens has a chin on him. He can take some hard shots, but eventually gives out. I think Max Holloway finds his range masterfully in the first round towards the tail end. And then the second round, Max Holloway finishes in a devastating knockout. I could picture possibly this fight or the main event or co-main event getting some sort of performance bonus for the winner. So there you have it. There's my picks. There's my predictions. See if I'm right. Stay tuned for my next episode, which will be a post-fight for UFC 194. And until then, see ya.